Hello everybody, welcome back to Cape Rugby TV. It is Wednesday at 9 and of course we bring you the very best of rugby in and around Cape Town. We focus tonight on the Varsity Cup, the Varsity Shield. We'll take a look at the Community Cup, of course some interesting things happening there. Of course over the weekend there was of course tag rugby at the 10s. It was the Cape Town 10s, an astronomical event in Cape Town, and there were some interesting Super 15 matches as well. Interesting guests on our panel this evening, and we're looking forward to introducing to you in a second. Don't forget some great competitions coming up during the course of the show. And of course, don't forget, find us on Facebook, find us on Twitter. That's where you're going to win your prizes, so get your cell phones handy. Let me introduce my first guest this evening, and we're very proud to have him here. He's a man who makes Cape Town rugby look pretty good. Levi Oendal, the captain of UCT. Hello Levi, how are you?
Fine, thanks to you, JP.
Not too bad, not too bad. Julle het 'n lekker game maandag aand gehad?
Ja, het was aardig geweest. Life is seer. Cape Town win is not your best friend. So.
Ja, die wind kan maar blaas, né?
Ja, is lekker op die green mile.
Ja. Jerome Parwater, hallo Jerome, reg met jou?
Baie goed, JP. Lekker om weer terug te wees.
Ja, Mr. H, you well?
Yes, sir.
And of course, a little bit later during the show, we'll be joined by the famous Morgan Newman. So he's going to be able to give us the insights of professional rugby and, of course, touch also with us on the Cape Town 10s, knowing that he played in the 10s over the weekend. Let's start it off then with the Varsity Cup. Levi, for you guys playing against NMMU on Monday night, a 5-all draw. I mean, let's just get straight into it. I think UCT, most people probably expected a much bigger victory there.
Ja, natuurlijk moest ons gewen het. Ons is maar half riding champions, maar nie. Ek weet nie laas jaar nie, maar ons moes gewen en die wind was baie sleg geweest. Ons het 'n soft try laat deurgaan vir hulle. Ons was heeltyd, ons het 80% van die bal gehad, maar ons kon net nie deur gedruk het nie, maar
Are they a tough team, NMMU?
Yeah, they're tough. They've got a lot of new players. I think the Kings have got a big hand in there.
Yeah.
And a couple of guys from the Sharks Academy down there. They are a good team, physical, but I won't see them going far in the competition.
Was as you were glued to the TV on Monday night? What did you make of the game? Of course, not the UCT game. That was of course not broadcast, but the Marty's game.
No, I was at the game.
Oh, you were at the Marty's game?
Yes.
Ah.
Same thing. You know, they struggled so much in the first half.
Yeah.
But it was a very, very strong win. And like Jerome said, you know, it's quite interesting to note about 10 VP under 19, under 21, Vodacom players in that side. And I think in the end it was their experience that carried Marty's through.
Carry them through.
Yeah.
Let's quickly, folks, before we go too much further in terms of discussing the rugby, let's quickly look at the results of the first round in the Varsity Cup. There you see Marty's beating UJ then 29 points to 8. That was at the Craven Stadium on Monday. NMMU or NWU Pucker at least in Potch beating Tuks 26 points to 3. Ike's drawing with NMMU, and then Wits losing massively 61 points to 7 against Shimlers at the Wits Rugby Stadium. So those are your Varsity Cup results. Mr. H, tell us more about the match then, Marty's against UJ.
I must say that, you know, I was very impressed with the amount of people that turned up there. I judged about 15,000 people were there. And Marty's, at the beginning, I think they were very lucky that Met Kemp, who was the referee, never gave any of them a yellow card, because they were penalized ad nauseum in the first half. And at the breakdown points, and they just couldn't get it right. And that kept their opponents, you know, on the attack. They have good players. Don't make a mistake. Louis Jordan, JP Lewis, Renil Hugo, Alistair Vermaak, Ruben Johannes, those guys, you know, they come through the systems of Western Province. And you could see their influence, you know. Renil Hugo was exceptional in the defense in the first half, because Marty's was nowhere on the field. They only had to defend and defend. And it was great to see, you know, that they really kept the opponents at bay, and then in the second half, although in the second half, it took them about 20 minutes to realize that they were playing with the wind.
So, I mean, it doesn't sound like it was an easy game for Marty's.
No,
John,
no.
which game were you at? Did you watch on TV?
No,
or did you?
I watched the Marty game on TV.
Yeah, yeah.
But it is, as Mr. H said, I think Cam gave away a lot of penalties, but I think also UJ were at the breakdown, they were clever, because most of them weren't penalties. Because what happened at the breakdown, if the guy comes in to go protect the player, what they do, they'll pull him, so they off their feet.
Is it nou die Johannesburg sou
They pull the guys through, so it looked like he's sealing off or he's falling over.
Oh, right, okay.
So they were quite good with that. That was something that they've obviously worked on. And so I think that's one of the reasons why he couldn't really give, because he had to, but they were off their feet. The rules say if you're off their feet, it's a penalty. And that's why there were so much. I think they were in that first half of about 20 penalties.
Lieve, vertel vir ons 'n bietjie van die game. Ike's teen MMU. Was it the same kind of thing? I mean, are you guys as aware of the laws and the rules, Ike's, on your side?
I think it's our preseason games. I think against SN20 we gave away like 15 penalties the whole game, but you can't win rugby like that. I think on Monday night I gave away 3 penalties. So we were very good in our discipline. But first off, we were playing into the wind, and we're usually better into the wind than with the wind, because you think you're playing with the wind, you're going to kick it down, but it never actually happens. And we scored a good try in the corner. David Bunye, he used to play sevens for Kenya. He scored a good try in the corner. And then half-time was 5-0, and then second half, I think first 10 minutes, they scored a try in the corner, also against the wind. And then from there on, we were on their try line the whole time. We were scrubbing them for a change. I think for a change, UCT has got some decent props at the moment. And but nothing happened there. John didn't want to give us a penalty there, a penalty try. Or
Kaplan?
Jonathan Kaplan.
He seems to like refereeing at UCT.
Loves UCT. Loves UCT, yeah.
Tell us a little bit about UCT's preparation. When did you guys start preparing for the Varsity Cup?
We started mid-November, and then we had a break from 15th of December until the 7th of Jan. And then we went to Plet for a week, had a camp there in Plet. It was very nice. And that's it. And we played against SWD in Plet. Came back and played against the SN20s, and then
How is it for a university to play against a province? I mean, we've seen that a couple of times now. How was it for you guys?
SWD wasn't much.
So, is that the case? I mean, we've got clubs that are clubs now that are as strong as some unions.
That is, it is. If you, as you were saying now, as you look at SK 2 weeks ago playing the Vodacom squad, which is a lot of the non-contracted guys, and the Vodacom guys managed to beat them by 1 try. Last Friday, Durbanville played against the Vodacom squad, and the Vodacom squad managed to beat them by 1 try also. So it's just, you could see the preparation and things which the guys are doing, and so it sort of level each other out. Just all the conditioning and everything, so it's basically the same.
Lieve, I've got to ask you, and of course we're going to start looking at the Shield results in a minute or so, folks, but I've got to ask you, the Varsity Cup, Mr. H was talking about it now, at the Marty's, thousands of people around the field, massive entertainment. I know they've got Altus there as their MC, and Tabo, who's another MC.
I think they had Bobby van Jaarsveld.
En Bobby van, Bobby van Jaarsveld was daar, so ek weet baie mense was seker lekker, jy was seker self bietjie jealous there. Are you a Bobby van Jaarsveld fan?
Not really.
Come on, you're allowed, you can say it on the show.
No, not really.
So how does it feel going to UCT and you've got guys like Anton Taylor and a couple of other MCs there? I think who's you've got a warrior there, Asanda. How does it feel to play in front of that crowd, and the crowd is going absolutely ballistic? You tell us a little bit about that.
On Monday night, we had a good vibe. I think it was one of the best vibes ever. I see the tweets and on Facebook ever, but you can't hear anything when you're on the field because of the wind. But it's actually quite nice playing in that vibe. There was a lot of first-year students. I think all of the first-year students were obliged to be there.
Oh, really? Is that part of your freshers orientation?
Yeah, because it's O week this week at GCT, so all of them
orientation week.
Orientation week.
Yeah, right.
So all of them had to be there, and all of them went with buses afterwards to the after party. I don't know where it was though, but I didn't go.
Always a big thing.
Went to go and sleep. Had to work today.
Yeah.
On Tuesday. Yeah, but it's quite nice. Very nice to.
Let's quickly look at the logs now in terms of the Varsity Cup after we saw the results there. And yes, there you can see Shimla's are now on the top with a total of 5 points. Marty's in second place after their win yesterday, or at least on Monday, 29 points to 8 against Shimla's. NWU Pucker are on 4 points in third place, followed by NMMU, Ikes, Tux, UJ and Wits. Those are your Varsity Cup logs. We'll take a look at some of your fixtures in a minute or so. Now let's take a look at some of the Varsity Shield results. We've of course had round 1 and round 2. We saw CUT. This was last week Thursday. CUT beating UWC 25 points to 10, and TUT, who of course lost so big to UWC the previous week, going down to UKZN 34 points to 31. And then on Monday night, we also saw in round 3, University of Fort Hare beating TUT 32 points to 6, and UKZN going down to CUT 26 points to 12, that is. So those are your Varsity Shield results and logs. Let's take a look at that then in round 2. UWC didn't go their way. Jerome, I asked you last week, can UWC travel? That was the very first thing I said to you after that. Such a good win. We had Charlton van die Huisveld on the show here. I said, can they travel? They were a little bit overconfident. The same thing happened last year. What happened this year?
I must say this year the score is actually down with last year they lost their 70 to 6.
Oh my word. Mr. H het jou gehoor hoe maak hy nou verskoon. Hy sê
It's a goeie verloor.
It's a goeie verloor.
No, but I must say right to the end, Peter de Villiers were confident sitting next to me, and he said the score is going to be 26-25 in favor of UWC, which were supposed to happen. 2 tries in 5 minutes, which they was open to score, and they didn't finish it. So they were really the team to have won that game. And also again, I don't know what's happening with the Varsity Shield and Varsity Cup. It seems like all the games are in wind. The wind were pumping in Bloemfontein. It was the first time that I see wind, so much wind there. But it was a good game of rugby, and I think it's tough also. UWC had to travel, play on Thursday, play on Monday, play on Thursday. The same with TUT.
Yeah.
And they are playing on Monday again.
So what, I mean, I know that they got to get through the fixtures and that, but I mean, these 3-day gaps. I mean, so let me work this out. You're playing in the Varsity Shield at the moment. You play on a Monday night. Basically, the next you can't even rest the next day because you had it's your day of rest, so to speak, because of the Monday game. So you're resting on the Tuesday. Wednesday, you've got maybe a light practice, and then you're on the aeroplane to play on Thursday night. You've got absolutely no time.
No, because the UWC guys left UWC Wednesday morning at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Which means they were up at 4:30. Traveling there, arrived
en in baie plekke is dit nie eers direk invlieg nie, jy moet nog 'n bus vat na die.
Ja, jy moet nog bus vat, en baie keer is die vliegtuig vertraag, en as jy by die hotel,
die vliegtuig is allemaal vertraag.
As jy by die hotel kom, as die hotelkamers nie reg nie, dit is presies wat gebeur het met hulle. Van die doel was dat die manne kan gaan slaap, maar toe die manne moet inboek, toe is die hotelkamer nie reg nie, en dan gaan jy maar gou vir 'n ligte breakfast, en toe besluit Pieter net, maak maar sommer eentjie alles klaar, en dan gaan jy vir 'n soort van 'n captain's run.
So, I mean, Mr. H, if I ask you then, under conditions like this, clearly it's a home team advantage scenario in a bigger way even than before. I mean, we talk about the Stormers, for example, in Super Rugby, you can have home team advantage, but home and away, the travelling, the facilities, it's kind of sort of equal for everybody. It's a quick flight, you land, the bus is organised. At this level, it's not that organised. So clearly there's a big difference between home and away in this case.
Yeah, and the home team has the advantage that they know exactly what the facilities are. They know what the field is like, everything.
Yeah.
So it's everything to their advantage. And they don't have to worry about whether the hotel bedrooms are ready or you know, or whether they're going to be late. So it's a big thing to play at your home ground.
Yeah. Levi, let me ask you then, from a traveling point of view, first of all, do you guys play Thursdays also, or is it just Monday?
No, we only on Mondays.
Only Monday?
Yeah.
All right, so you don't have the kind of necessarily midweek stress that the Shield guys have got, but you still have to travel.
Yeah.
How do you guys find the traveling aspect?
It's normally fun for us though, but just we always have to fly back on a Tuesday morning early because Varsity Cup has got this thing about getting to class on a Tuesday, but I don't think a lot of guys go to class on that Tuesday. But yeah, so we normally fly on a Sunday afternoon, chill in a hotel the whole night, have captains, and then the game is only the next night, on a Monday night.
Yeah.
And then we'll fly home on Tuesday morning, an early flight, that's 6 o'clock flights normally. So
Tell us about captains. I think a lot of people don't necessarily know what captains means.
yeah, captains is actually just a very chilled vibe, just going through all the calls again, all the maps you have to do, and all the defensive lines, and then it's done.
So this is your captain's run.
Yeah, the captain run it himself. The coaches aren't there.
So you're in charge of that.
Yeah, I'm in charge. Yeah.
And do you do it at the same time as the game on the next day?
Yeah, normally on the same field, preferably. But
So what's
yeah,
important for you during captain's run?
I just to check the conditions and the field, and yeah, just to get a feel for the ball and stuff, and the field for the climate and the atmosphere and all that stuff.
Yeah. As I know that a lot of people try and simulate, a lot of coaches, they're trying to have the same time of day from the one day to the next day so that you get the same light, the same wind, the same temperature, all those little things. I suppose, I don't know, in the Varsity Cup, Jerome, you think it makes a difference?
Yeah, but they must also be careful. I don't know, with all the other guys there, normal people that work with cameras around. Be careful with that.
Are they
also.
spies?
Captains run, that's always where
You've seen him, man.
Do they spy, Levi?
I've seen him a couple of years. You can normally see. I think it was at Picker once, and the Oaks were like lying underneath the cushions there, looking at our calls and stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
No, come on. No, you must be. I mean, you're not going to stop that at a student game. You know, like there's video cameras all over the campus.
Once in New Zealand, Ian McIntosh, when he was the Springbok coach, he saw there were seals. Quite close to the beach. No.
Oh, seals.
Robbe, ja.
Ja, robbe.
In die water in. So dit lyk soos ouens wat opkom en dan die hele tyd met 'n kamera toe stop by die oefensessie. Vir die lys en oppas hy moet. Daai mense mag nie afwees.
Mr. H, Fort Hare against TUT, 32.6. A good win for Fort Hare.
Yeah, after a start that wasn't very encouraging.
Yeah.
I was quite surprised at that result.
And I mean, TUT, they're sort of blowing hot and cold at the moment. It was a loss. It was, and that's fact. What was the previous? Did they win the previous one before they lost? So they've had 3 losses in a row now. So it's a little bit rough on TUT at the moment.
Yeah, but I mean, Fort Hare, they got a lot of. I think people expect a lot of it because of the political heritage of the place.
Yeah, but I've got to say to you that in that same breath, yes, people are expecting a lot and political heritage and that, but if you've been up to Alice, you'll realize that there's nothing. Daar's niksie. Ons klaar baie keer hier so oor die conditions. Jerome, Alice, jy ken seker vir Alice is 'n
Praat jy van Alice wat altyd op die sou is nie.
Nee, Alice van Elsie's nie. Alright, Alice die plek.
Wel, Alice in Oos-London.
Alice in Oos-London, ja.
Nee, daar gaan niks aan nie.
Daar gaan niks aan nie.
Maar ek moet sê, dis nou wel TUT. Maandag aan teen ons gespeel, teen UWC gespeel. Toe speel hulle KZN donderdag en gisteraand Fort Hare.
Dis 3 games in 'n week.
En dan is hulle 2 weke af.
Nou hoekom het hulle nie sommer die een aangeskuif nie? Ja? Okay. Alright, die ander wedstryd was natuurlik CUT teen UKZN, 26 points to 12. So good win there for CUT. Let's take a look at the logs now in the Varsity Shield. And there you see it, CUT are on top with 8 points. They've got a points differential of 28 after their having played 2 matches and won 2 matches, so they're doing pretty well. UKZN have played 3, they've won 2 and are 8 points in second place. UWC have played 2, they've won 1 and are in third place on 5 points. And then Fort Hare are in 5th place, or at least in 4th place, and TUT are final at the bottom of the log in second place. Let's take a look at your fixtures now. Coming up on Monday in the Varsity Cup, it's Tuks against Ikeys, NMU against the Wits, UJ are up against Pika, Shimla's take on the Marties. Those are your Varsity Cup fixtures in round 2. Levi, you guys are up against Tuks in Pretoria. Are you ready for that? Oh, you were not. It's still early days, but I mean, what do you make of Tuks?
We haven't lost in Pretoria to Tuks, so that's quite a motivation. But yeah, Tuks have a good side this year, especially because the whole Vodacom Cup team and the Tikkies side are practicing together. So it's a very strong squad. A couple of big names in the Tikkies team there, but yeah, we're up for them and we want this one.
And they're of course the reigning champions.
Yeah, they're reigning champions, but. Yeah, it doesn't say much. We also were the reigning champions last year.
Yes. Yeah, that's interesting that you say that. You said it doesn't necessarily carry over.
Yeah, it doesn't carry over.
Why would you say it doesn't carry over? Maybe students move on?
Yeah, I think students move on from them, but they get so much back again also. So
yeah. Oh, right. Okay, yeah.
Not the same instance as at UCT then.
And then you haven't played against Marties yet this year. So I'm going to ask Mr. H then. Mr. H, vorige week tackle Marties vir Shimla's in Bloemfontein. Shimla's nie 'n maklike span nie.
Tawe een vir die Marties. Dit is maar moeilik om daar te speel.
Ja.
En die Marties, sometimes it's like playing the sevens. In South Africa, it seems to be when they see New Zealand is out, then they also fall out for some reason or other. But Marties, from what I've seen on Monday night, I think Marties can pull this one off.
You've played against Shimla's, Levi. Tough team?
Yeah, very tough. Running rugby, and yeah, I think the squad has been the same for the last 3 or 4 years, but they've got, I think, a better coach now, Michael Warrock. So yeah, definitely tough game for Marties, but my money's on Marties.
All right, so there you go, folks. Those are your Varsity Cup fixtures. Let's take a look now at the Varsity Shield fixtures coming up this Monday. Of course, we've got a home game for UWC. That's the game that you want to get to then on Monday night. All of you out there, if you recall the last match that you went to at UWC's home ground, was absolutely fantastic. The entertainment, if I say so myself, was spectacular. And everybody was having a great time. So it was, of course, that pink ball on the field. And don't forget to support the pink ball auction. You can go to the Varsity Cup website, www.varsitycup.co.za, and you can bid there for the pink ball. And, of course, during the televised games, you can also bid there for the pink ball. And that is, of course, in support of the fight against women abuse. As you know, the Sarki Bartman Centre is the organization that the UWC has adopted to support in their campaign to raise funds for the Sarki Bartman Centre, who is, of course, so important in Cape Town as an institution against women abuse. But let's take a look then at the fixtures. Of course, there you see CUT are up against Fort Hare in Bloemfontein on a Monday night, kick-off at 7, and at the same time, at 7 o'clock, it is UWC kicking off against UKZN here at UWC. So get down to UWC this coming Monday night. The last time I was out there, I think tickets was only 10 Rand. 10 Rand a ticket for a night of entertainment like that, world class. Right, there we go. Levi en Sevio, dankie dat jy vir ons gejoin het. En ons weet jy's 'n besige man.
Thanks, Chef.
Good luck for Monday.
Yeah, baie dankie.
You going to take it?
Hopefully, yeah. I think so. We have to take it.
And if you see that crazy MC Anton Taylor, give him our best.
I will. Thanks.
All right, there, Anton Taylor is your MC at UCT. And of course, folks, if you have a chance to go to any of those games as well, go and check it out. UCT's home games and the Marty's home games. The entertainment at the Varsity Cup and the Varsity Shield is completely organized, is completely structured, and it really is a worthwhile to spend, a 10 Rand on. I think it does. Marty's, Mr. H, quickly they don't even charge an entry fee, if I'm correct.
No, they do.
They charge entry fee?
They sell season tickets.
They even sell season tickets. Season tickets for the Varsity Cup. All right, then we're going to take an ad break, and when we come back, we'll take a look and see what's happening in the Community Cup. Of course, on the Western Province front, the important clubs for us is Durbanville and SK Warmers, all playing in the Community Cup. We'll be back with you guys in a moment.
Get so much more for so much less at Tata Westenburg. Buy an Indica Vista Ego from $999 per month with a 3-year 100,000 kilometer warranty, 4 years 100,000 kilometer service plan, 3 years unlimited roadside assistance and more. To find out more, SMS the word Tata to 33280 and one of our service consultants will be in touch with you shortly.
Tata is a good boy, for sure.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Cape Rugby TV, Wednesday night, 9 o'clock. Tell your friends about one of the greatest rugby shows that's ever hit the planet. Yeah. Find us on Facebook, www.facebook.com/Cape Rugby TV. Some great competitions coming up, and of course Twitter at Cape Rugby TV, that's where you can find us. Community Cup is, of course, one of the important topics to take a look at. Durbanville and SK Warmers, those are two teams that we need to be focusing on. They'll be entering and representing Western Province in the Currie Cup and representing Cape Town. But welcoming back for the second time this season, the famous model himself, Morgan Newman. Hello, Morgs.
The jokes.
Nice. Mr. H told us that we've got to make sure that he doesn't fall asleep on the show and that we've got to get rid of your modelling vibe.
Yeah, no, you killed my thunder. I really thought I had potential, but clearly Mr. H has seen something different.
I went to the Cape Town 10s on Saturday.
Yeah.
And it was fantastic, great vibe, everything. And it just shows you how Cape Town loves its rugby. And then I saw Morgan and he told me that he was going to play. I thought, okay, I'll hang around and see.
Yeah.
You know, is he really as good as
they say?
Yeah, I was quite surprised and impressed. The Marty guy, they played Marty's. Marty guy broke just outside his own try line. And he went straight down. And he was through.
The Marty's guy?
Yeah, he was right through.
Straight through.
And then suddenly I saw across the field, full blast comes Morgan Newman. I haven't seen such speed for a long time. And the Marty guy stopped in his tracks, you know, when he saw Morgan. I think he realized I'm going to be tackled, gone. And he stopped and nothing happened to his potential try. It was a try. But well done. Great speed.
Thanks, Mr. H.
Yeah, but now listen, Mr. H, don't tell him that you told me the story because this will just make his head get even bigger.
No, I was just thinking, you know, if Jerome was there, others, they would...
You mean the scouts?
Yeah, they would put him somewhere up high, you know.
There we go, there we go.
Jerome, do you send scouts to other tournaments other than West, than sort of provincial or club, you know, like, I mean, sevens or...
Yeah, definitely like sevens and things like that because we have a sevens team, but we don't have a tens team yet. So
you wouldn't really go scout there, even to have a cold one?
Maybe in the future.
Because I've got a feeling that you'll have more scouts that will go to the 10s. They will go. Because if you were at the Cape Town 10s, anyway, let's talk about that in a minute or so. Jerome, we've got to focus on something more important. Well, not that any of those tournaments are not important, but let's talk about Community Cup. Durbanville, SK Warmers, they're playing their warm-up games, and you mentioned it earlier on about some of the matches that those two teams had in the week.
Yeah, I must say the first game against the Province Vodacom Cup squad, SK played, and they really look well organized, great shape. So you could see that they've done their homework and they're ready to go for the Community Cup. Because in the past, SK went to the club champs and they didn't perform, and they really did a lot of work pre-season and going into the season now. The same with Durbanville. Durbanville had a great, I think last year they club champs, they were good enough, but they could have been much higher up at the thing. And they're also looking good. They played Friday night, they played against the Vodacom Cup side, and they're looking good. And I think next week they start against Pretoria Police, which gave them a hiding last year, but I think things will definitely go Durbanville's way this game. First game.
I mean, Morgs, let me ask you then. I mean, when you were playing provincial side, Vodacom Cup, and you worked your way up in the provincial Western Province side, and you played the Stormers. Quite often, you guys would have those sort of warm-up games against universities and so on, or clubs that are preparing for the Community Cup. Even in your own season, getting ready for the Super 15, you would play against clubs just as warm-ups and so on. How tough were the clubs to play against, or when you're playing on a provincial side? Are you just focusing on your moves and it's not so serious?
Look, Chase, I must be honest, I think a few years back, the clubs were not as strong as what they are now. I think the clubs are becoming way more professional now. I think there's a lot more to play for in terms of the Community Cup, the Varsity Cups, all these different tournaments have now come to the foreground. I think that clubs have more to play for, so the provincial sides are using the club sides now as competition because the level is just that much higher. I think in the past it was a case of provincial sides would look for other provincial sides to play against, purely for the case of that there's no real other teams good enough. But now that the clubs have so many tournaments to play for, I think they're all going, they're all bringing in defensive coaches and bringing in forwards coaches and backline coaches, and they're bringing in guys like Jerome that are going down there every weekend to go and help, contribute. So I definitely think the level of club rugby in terms of just competition for the provincial sides has raised so much that the provincial side can afford to sort of play on the home grounds of club sides and still get the competition they need in order to test themselves before their actual real competition starts.
Mr. H, Durbanville, SK, in your opinion, preparation going well?
Yeah, I think what I've sensed, there's a much higher intensity in the preparation. Previously, those clubs would go away for a weekend, say to Genatendal, play a match there. It's more about spending the weekend away from home, playing against Saron or something like that. Now, they're taking on professional teams to lift their standard. And that's exciting for us, because they are now going to prove that, their intensity and the preparation will carry them well when they play the matches.
When did they start preparing? How far before the Community Cup season?
Well, I think they're all on the same vibe these days. Mid-November they start, they break again December, and then they start early in January again.
Morgs, would you say that there's maybe, hang on, before I go anywhere, is this true what Mr. H said about this Marty's merely dropping the ball because he saw you coming out of nowhere?
I don't know.
First of all, did you come out of nowhere?
I don't know about him dropping the ball. I think I definitely came out of nowhere. I didn't know I had it myself. So.
Because of course your previous teammates.
Yeah, I think that's where the extra little bit of gas came in. I think it's the fact that I'm playing against the Oaks that I played for last year. So
come on, you've got to give us the inside track. I mean, we know that the cat is completely out of the bag. You played at the Tens for Hammies, and there you are playing against your old squad, Marty's. And of course, you were Player of the Year at Marty's last year. Come on, I'm just going to rub it all the way in now. How does it feel playing against your teammates on Saturday?
Look, I must say, I think I took a bit of flack on the field.
Really?
Yeah, I took a bit of flack. I think the Oaks abused me a little bit, which I expected. But no, I must be honest, James. I mean, it's never nice playing against your ex-teammates or whatever it was. But I think we all have a little bit of a point to prove, and you always got to, show the boys what they're missing out on, if you know what I mean.
I did hear him shout at his teammates, leaving to me.
Jerome, when you look at guys like Morgan and a team who plays in a club space, is there any sense that, because I mean you've got a couple of provincial players now that are playing club spaces, and some of those provincial or club players might even make it back into the squad at some other stage. Is there any situation of the club players feel like the former professional players must take on more of a responsibility? I mean, we've got some professional players playing at SK, some former professional players playing at Durbanville. Do the other club rugby guys go, well, he's been up at the higher leagues, let him take 2 or 3 guys?
Yeah, no, definitely, JP. I mean, everybody look up to these guys. I mean, they know the level that they've played at, and I think also the coaches expect much more of them. And also, it's also nice because, say for example, if Morgan have the ball, then 4-3 guys will go to him, and if he's clever enough just to pass, then it's 4 defenders out. They can score easily.
Okay. So nowadays they don't hire you to do the work; they hire you to be the draw card. All right. So Morgs, there you go. That's your new job. It's a little bit like that movie Moneyball. Okay, so let's do a little bit in the Community Cup space here. Morgs, what will the guys be focusing on now going into the Community Cup from an SK Women's point of view and a Durbanville point of view?
Look, James, I think what we discussed last week is that the Community Cup has just become sort of the club champs over a longer period of time. So I think the preparation won't necessarily change as much. But again, I mean, we talk of the level of rugby that you're talking all the guys that are playing for SK Women's, the guys that are playing for Durban, those are all guys knocking on provincial doors as it is, and as you saw, I mean, SK, I think if I speak under correction, I think SK lost 6 players last year to different provincial sides around the country. So, they are that's sort of the cream of the crop when it comes to club rugby players in the Western Cape, and they'll be working on obviously the basics, which is at the forefront of any team, and then also individual skills. And I know I've worked with Jan Loopscher, the coach of Durban. He's also very big on players expressing themselves and bringing out their sort of individual skills, and this is the perfect platform. I mean, the games are going to be televised. They're going to be scouts sitting at home on their couches watching these games. So if individual brilliance comes out, I think there'll be a few more provincial sides knocking on these guys' doors.
You mentioned it early on about just how serious the players are taking it at the moment. Mr. H referred to it as well, that it has become a competition of another level now from a club point of view. But it's interesting that the Community Cup and the Varsity Cup is being played in exactly the same time frame. Do you think that there's kind of like a sort of an underlying competition between the guys that are playing in the Community Cup and the guys that are playing in the Varsity Cup, and that the Community Cup players are feeling like this is their own Varsity Cup?
Yeah, look, James, I think that's definitely, for the guys that are older than 25 and that are no longer studying, this is definitely sort of their Varsity Cup, if you know what I mean. So
yeah.
I think there also is going to be a match between the winners of the Varsity Cup and the winners of the Community Cup.
Is that right?
They're going to play. They're going to play in a sort of.
They will be the national club champions.
Hang on, so run the by me again. The winners of the Varsity Cup play against the winners of
the Community Cup, and they're gonna, and that will determine sort of the
overall,
the top club or whatever it is in the country. So there's lots to play for. I mean, there's the Varsity Cup, there's the Community Cup.
That is pretty serious, yeah.
Yeah, your Monday night viewing, I think, is pretty packed. I think
it's become pretty crazy. Yeah, Monday night, yeah, and of course, don't forget we are here on Wednesday nights at 9 o'clock. So, and that's become pretty packed as well. People were asking us, how do we get through the show? And we did ask you on Facebook to contribute a little bit in terms of suggestions of what you like on the set. Don't forget, we're looking for your jerseys. But we tried to explain the other day, certainly I tried to explain what we have to do in comparison to someone else's show that you might have seen on another TV channel. And you must remember, we've got 90 clubs at Western Province Rugby. So now we have to do 90, or at least the fixtures, 45 fixtures. We have to do 45 or 10 logs, which is 9 teams, 90 teams worth of logs. 9 teams across 10 logs, that's 90. And then we have to do, if we look at just the first team, 45 results. So we, in essence, talk about 180 different elements of a game just in our club rugby feature. So you can imagine that this show, trying to spread all club rugby as much as possible, is completely jam-packed. Jerome, what's next for Durban and SK?
No, I think JP is now just important that they keep their guys fresh, and I think in preparations they are where they want to be. It's still a long season, so they can't do much more than what they've done now. So it's just in how they keep the guys fresh and how the players look after themselves in terms of there's no going out on Fridays and Saturdays and go and drink and do things because. Otherwise,
certainly not at SK.
They're gonna SK.
Yeah, you can be sure about that. That's not going to happen there.
About Durban,
I think they might make up for both teams. Ek hoor as oor die ouens gaan die polisie koffie wegsit. So it's all about fine-tuning it now, behaving yourself off the field, focus, healthy body, healthy mind, and play better rugby.
I also think the most important thing is with this competition is their squad system is like you can't just play with one team.
Yeah,
they need to rotate guys and things because their traveling is more hectic than the Varsity Cup trip because they travel on the day that they play and then they travel back after the game.
Yeah, so
it's a lot of things tough, that they have to manage the players and their squad.
Of course, over the weekend, many of you might have gone out to Hamilton's Rugby Club, where Bob Skinstad and his merry men were having the Cape Town 10s. It's become an absolutely enormous tournament, and I was quite blown away by the fact that when I arrived there, I could hardly find any parking. In fact, I arrived and we were I looked around the Cape Town Stadium, and I thought there was a football match or something happening at the stadium. Absolutely jam-packed. How on earth they're going to find parking in that area for bigger events? No idea. No idea. It was just chock-a-block. Morgs, you played for Hammies in the 10s. Apart from the rugby, what a fantastic social occasion.
No, James, I must say, I mean, any sporting occasion in Cape Town is really, the people come out and support, and I think this is no different, I mean, we were there, you were there, you saw the amount of teams. I think Bob said something like 80 teams were there to play in all the different, 4 different divisions. And I mean, besides the rugby on the field, which a lot of the teams use as pre-season training and just sort of, getting fit, and other teams use it as just come for the draw, an excuse to come down to Cape Town. But I mean, in general, just, the entertainment, the sort of on the band, the beer tent, I mean, all the different stalls, the food stalls, and then in the rugby, obviously, topped it all off. So, good weekend all around.
Let's take a look at the results then from the Cape Town 10s. It was the Marties who came out on top in the Cup finals. The Mighties beating the Eagles 5-0. In the Heavy Beer Cup finals, it was Shake and Bake who went down to the Metswana Medis Rebels 25-0. The Light Beer Cup finals saw the Namib Broncos beat the K9s 10-0. We're mainly here for the Beer Cup finals. Beat the Tornadoes, the Tornadoes team beat the Corma Chameleons 26-12. And then the Veterans Cup, it was the Hemis Dynamiter Pups that beat, or at least lost, to the international legends. I mean, there were some international legends there, Morgs. I mean, we just the local guys. I was lucky enough to play in the tag rugby team. I played with Braden Paulser, Stefan Terblanche, Kobani Bobo, Hanyani Shamangi, but a couple of other big international names as well, guys like Colin Chavez and so forth.
Yeah, I mean, look, I mean, Bob and Flecky obviously have quite a big pool with international guys, and I mean, I saw the likes of Josh Lucy there too.
Yeah, he was there. Yeah.
Former World Cup winner for England. He was there, and he still looks like he could be. He looked like he could be playing in the Premier League.
Quite unbelievable,
yeah. You know, the fitness of himself. So yeah, I mean, I was, obviously big names and good entertainment. So yeah, great weekend all round.
How tough was the rugby? You played for Hemis in the 10s. You played against Marties. You played against, I think, False Bay.
Yeah, that's right.
Played against UCT.
Yeah, no, we played against UCT second side in the Premier League. So yeah, I mean, look, rugby was pretty tough. I mean, obviously we had a stage in the season now for club rugby players where sort of, we're still about 6 or 7 weeks out of our preseason games and that kind of thing. So the fitness isn't obviously where it wants to be at this stage, but there's still some time to get it up to scratch. So yeah, we used it just as sort of a good training run. And unfortunately, we lost to Stellenbosch in the semi-finals, and they went on to win the tournament. I think they've won it they've won it since it started 5 years ago. So yeah, I mean, Stellenbosch always going to be a tough side to beat, and with the amount, I mean, their players of all Varsity Cup, ex-Varsity Cup players, all guys still in the squad with the Varsity Cup. So obviously fit and ready to go.
Yeah. Well, folks, we of course managed to catch up with some of the celebrities at the Varsity Cup. Let's give you a little taste of the action and entertainment there.
You can hear from my voice that I've been better, but I'm good. I'm in a good place. Loving it. One of my best weekends of the year. So much fun hosting people and seeing everybody get involved. It's great. 90 teams this year. Ron Rutland's the director of rugby. We've had double-digit growth every year. We're going 5 years. Most important thing is the beer tent's getting full earlier and earlier in the day, and that's a good sign because people are enjoying it. Through to the final, I'm very proud. Our guys haven't let through a try yet, and we've had some good play. The internationals have been super. Yeah, we're in Josie. We did one in PE. I'm hoping that'll last, but we're going to be in Josie again this year, September. It's going to be good, and then Cape Town's obviously our flagship event.
It's wonderful to have it at Cape Town. It's a city event, as you know, and we're very proud to be part of it, and we're proud to part host it.
How's it, Jason?
Yeah, it's been fantastic. Ron Rutland and Bob and Robin have really put on a great event. It's grown 5th year this year. It's bigger, better than before. It's really been great.
Tens, I haven't had a chance to watch. I've been playing a bit for the Shake and Bake, and we're in the final of the plate and we're going to win it. So I'm looking forward to showcasing those skills again and playing with the lads.
I was just here watching some Tens rugby in Sea Point.
Great atmosphere here, good weather, Cape Town.
In the morning, in the morning, in the morning, Father sing, in the morning.
Well, there you see, it's the Cape Town Tens, entertainment galore, lots of celebrities, lots of action, and lots of fun. Mr. H, you were at the event.
Yeah. I just want to say I had the option to go to the Met.
Yes.
Going to the Met, you go there, horses, watching the ladies, pretty ladies, and I opted to go to the tent.
Yeah.
The Met has got nothing on the tents as far as the ladies are concerned. I would go to the tents again anytime.
Chaps, I reckon the only reason Mr. H says is because it was jumping castle too.
You're gonna Mr. H, you're gonna be thrilled to know that I saw that there's a guy now who came on the Cape Rugby TV Facebook page, and he's advertising Jumping Castle Fire.
Brilliant.
So I think your Jumping Castle thing is definitely, people are paying attention to this Jumping Castle thing. I don't know, Jumping Castles, all right, we're creating something here. But the entertainment factor was fantastic.
Very, very, very nice. I think in the big whole tent was a bit loud, you know.
Yeah.
But that's the nature of the beast, you know. You go in there, you must understand the music is loud, the people are shouting. But it's fantastic to see that kind of vibe at an event of rugby.
I mean, I think it was extremely well organized. The teams were well organized. I think, every field was well cordoned off. We spoke to Ben Turon, as you see there in the video. The referees were well planned. Every section had a nice structure, was roped off. Everybody knew what was going on. And there was entertainment in different sections. That was quite nice. So, I mean, and then of course the VIP area, which had a white picket fence around it. That's unique, Morgs.
No, it is. I mean, look, it's really a well-oiled machine, I think. If you look at where the tournament started 5 years ago to where it's developed it today, it's really, I mean, it's a day out of, I mean, it's a Friday and a Saturday out where you literally can bring the kids, come down as a massive family entertainment, section with the jumping castles for Mr. H. And, the VIP section, the guys could interact with the fans. I mean, I saw some Stormers guys down there. I think I saw Sia Khaleesi and them down there too, taking photographs and just, sort of mingling with the fans. So I think we saw Tim Swale there too. So, all guys that are
yes, we did see Tim Swale there. Yeah.
So I mean, all guys that are, in the Stormers mix, still coming down to enjoy sort of the social rugby, as opposed to the serious Super 15 preparation.
And of course, one of the other entertaining things on the night was, or at least on the day, was the tag rugby. The tag rugby is where some of us were invited to play in. It was only 7 minutes aside, but it was absolutely great fun. And let's take a look at what happened at the tag rugby.
Rugby is a sport that's been played overseas in the UK and in Australia by about over 500,000 people on a weekly basis. It's something new in South Africa. We're trying to get it onto the social rugby platform where, similar to your action cricket and your normal touch rugby, we want to start getting the guys to play tag rugby. It's a much more structured game. Easy to play, but it takes a little bit more skill, a little bit more set pieces. But with a little practice, you'll get there easy. We've been with the 10s rugby now since Josie last year, where we had the Josie 10s, and then at Nelson Mandela Bay with the 7s as well. And now with the main event here in Cape Town. We've had some good celebrity responses here today. Brayton Paulson, Norman Jordan, Marius Skuman, yourself, Peter Miller and Kubani Bobo, who's our tag rugby ambassador. We gave some rugby equipment that was donated to us. We handed that over, the losing captain of the celebrity game handed that over to Siyabulela Primary in Langa as part of our tag rugby development.
Right, so that's tag rugby's folks there that were playing in the sort of celebrity squad, and how amazing for them to give away, or at least engage and give back to the community by handing over some kit courtesy of Signet Licensing to Siyabulela Primary School, I think it was. Jerome, let's start with you. It was the Stormers up against the Cheetahs. It's a complete warm-up game, played in Bloemfontein. Stormers were up in the game, and then it just fell apart.
Yeah, JP, I don't know where the guys this time of the season get the energy to play like that. It looked like a semi-final game because it's always between the Cheetahs in Stormers or Province. It's always a big rivalry between the two sides. It was very, very tough and very hard, and then, it was very hot on the day also. Stormers were up by 11 to 0.
I mean, I would say maybe falling apart is not quite the right best way to explain it.
Then slowly but surely the Cheetahs just keep on coming back. And they were fortunate with that guy, the last kick, 55 meters. And they won the game at the end.
Jerome, what do you make, what will Alistair Arons be making of his preparations at this stage of the season? He's waiting for Peter Grant. Elton Jantjies had a sad, tragic incident with his passing away of his father. Those are two players out. Skalkberger's out at the moment. Where will Alistair's mind be at the moment in terms of the Stormers' preparation for the Super 15?
I think they're very happy because they gave like you said now, they gave all the new guys a run. And I think they're pretty happy with what they've seen, and they know now who's up for that. And I think the guy that played out of position, Nazam Kar, on the day he was one of the outstanding forwards, and played like a guy who played six flank for long. He's done the job of the six flank. So I think he showed that he's a bit versatile. And
has he put on a bit more muscle?
Yeah, he's big.
When I looked on TV, he looked like real big.
No, he's really big now. I think he's about 108 now.
Really? For a flank, that's pretty high.
Yeah, so it's...
So the guy's off-season training has really been...
Yeah, what happened to him, he was injured, so his focus was a lot on gym, off-season, gym and just conditioning and things like that, so it helped him a lot.
Just goes to show how important that off-field training is.
Yeah.
Morgs, do you train quite a lot off the rugby field?
Yeah, look, James, I mean, when you're injured, I think there's, I think he had a knee injury, so he obviously worked a lot on upper body strength and that kind of thing, just in order to get his, it's a good time to use that as a sort of to build some muscle and that kind of thing. Because when you come back, I mean, after a game like that, Nizam would easily have lost 2-3 kilograms just in fluid, so it's obviously a good time. You lose weight quickly now throughout the preseason until the first game. Yourself
in the rugby space, you rugby practice during the week. How much time do you find for gym?
Look, James, I think it's all in the ball's in your court when it comes to club rugby. It's you got to try and get there literally in the mornings if you can, because we're training Monday, Tuesdays, Thursdays, club rugby. You've really got to try and put in an extra effort into go 6 o'clock in the morning before work and those kinds of things. And that you'll see the club rugby players that stand out are usually the ones that put in the extra little bit in the early mornings or after training. Sort of late evenings.
Yeah. Let's take a look now at some of the friendlies that's happening in the Super 15 ranks. These are, of course, the folks that are preparing for the Super 15. It's the Sharks up against the Leopards in Pietermaritzburg on Friday. Bullantech on the Stormers at the Cape Town Stadium. That's the Saturday. Kickoff at 2:25. Get down to that match. And on Saturday, also at 5 o'clock, you'll see the Cheetahs are up against the Bulls in Polokwane. All right, so those are your Super 15 friendlies before the season gets underway in a big way. But of course, getting underway in a big way, and we asked you on Facebook to contribute to this. We asked you to throw out a couple of names for us. A little bit like the old Orchid and Onion Award. And this year in Super Brew, we've of course got a number of panels running. We've got our celebrity panel, which is members of the panel here. But also in terms of the main pool, we've got the Cape Rugby pool on Super Brew. Now there's some great prizes up for grabs. You can win yourself a signed Stormers Rugby jersey if you're the overall winner. In second place, you win 2,000 Rands worth of Evox products. And in third place, you can win yourself 1,000 Rands worth of Evox Advanced Nutrition products. Of course, Evox is the official sports nutrition supplier to Western Province Rugby and the DHL Stormers. Now, many of you will see then that it's not that easy. There's a big pool, a lot of people. But every week we will have one special person who climbs higher than everybody else, and another, and every week we have one special person who drops more than everybody else. Jerome, you've dropped more than everybody else a few times, eh?
Yeah, JP, I don't know, but I think I've studied what I've done wrong.
You worked out the details.
Yep. My pre-season was good. Focusing now on what I can.
All right. So I didn't want to give the cat put the cat out of the bag there, folks, for our panel here. But Morgs, you've also managed to drop quite a few points by a few times.
I look at Jerome on tight competition, who drops the most each week.
All right, and then Mr. H, you've managed to climb up the rankings quite a few times.
Yeah, well,
right.
Comes with age.
Yeah, as I have also. No, it doesn't come with age. It comes with common sense. Don't throw age into this, okay? Right, so, and I've managed to climb up the ranks a few times. In other words...
that's why you don't want to...
That's right, exactly. Don't drag me down that slippery slope with you. But that would mean that on our panel, okay, it would mean that me and you are the players.
Okay.
Verstaan was the players. And that would make Jerome and Morgs, if it was this week, that would make them the posers. Mm-hmm. All right.
It fits in nice with my modeling.
Oh yeah, you're posing, yeah. Okay, so folks, there you go. As you see up on the screen now, it is the Players and the Posers Award every week for the person that has climbed the most rankings and the player that has dropped the most rankings. And as you can see there, you can win yourself a signed DHL Stormers rugby jersey, win 2,000 rands worth of Evox products in second place and 1,000 rand in third place. Go and find us on superbrew.com, www.superbrew.com, and come and join our Cape Rugby TV pool. And it's lots of fun. You'll see the more you play in this pool, you actually end up paying more attention to what's happening in the Super 15, and it makes it massively exciting. Well, it is time for us to wrap it up. Morgs, have yourself a great rugby weekend.
Thanks, chaps. You too.
Jerome?
Yeah, thanks.
No travelling for you?
No.
No. There's a first.
Only under 24th.
You going to watch the game on Saturday at Cape Town Stadium?
Definitely, JP.
Of course, the Storm is playing there against Poland. Mr. H.
Can I just say to the Rome, you know, on Saturday, I watched the international sevens. Kenya did exceptionally well.
So you could see my hand.
I could see your hand.
Well, jy het natuurlijk daar 'n bietjie afgerig vir die Kenya Sevens.
Nee, ek rig die 15s af, maar almal daai manne speel in die 7s.
Okay, ja. Nee, maar ek weet dit, want ek kan nog onthou jy het vir ons koffie gebring.
Ja, ek gaan weer die 24ste van die maand.
Ja, dat is net een
veel weer koffie bring.
Ja, maar jy moet smaak, né? Lekker koffie. Coffee, yeah. Right, folks, that's a wrap from our Cape Rugby TV show. We'll see you again next week, Wednesday at 9 o'clock. Make sure that you interact with us on Twitter, on Facebook, and please tell those club guys out there to get us their jerseys. All right, one of these days we're going to shut it off, and then there's going to be a no-go zone to get the jerseys on the show. It's good for you, it's good for your fans, and it's particularly good for your sponsors. Have a great sporting weekend. Bye-bye.